Police have fired stun grenades at the church on Greenmarket Square, where foreign nationals have sought refuge. That's after a fight broke out. Let me take you to ENCA's Aisha Ismail, who is at the church, to give us an update there. So, Aisha, the situation seems to have escalated there in the last 24 hours, complicating what was already a complex matter, and now tensions between two groups of those refugees.
That is correct. I mean, there are at the moment chaotic scenes here on Greenmarket Square, just opposite the Central Methodist Church. And as you say, that the Central Methodist Church, what started off to be a place of refuge, has now turned into a place where two factions are fighting for turf. So there are two leaders at the moment. The one group is still inside the church. The other group has been expelled from the church. And the fight that took place earlier was over food being distributed to people. And I'm just going to move out of shot now so that my colleague Mario can just show you where the food is being distributed by the South African Red Cross Society. Now, the group outside, being led by one of the leaders called Papi Sukami, they are saying that for the almost 3 months that they have been staying at the Central Methodist Church, the other leader, Jean-Pierre Balous, has stopped aid from coming to the people. He stopped the Red Cross from coming, they claim. They say he also stopped the gift of the givers from coming to the church. And now that they've now been expelled, the group that's outside, Papi's group, they are now able to again get food. They're also accusing Jean-Pierre Balous of fundraising and using the money for his people and not using the money for all refugees. So, as I said, lots of chaotic scenes outside, but the food has arrived and people are now being fed by the South African Red Cross Society.
So, Aisha, have we seen any fresh tensions and perhaps scenes that led to the stun grenades that we are reporting?
Well, the stun grenades that were fired earlier was as a result of people fighting over food, and police just wanted to bring some calm to the area, and it was for that reason that they were forced to fire the stun grenades to disperse people.
All right, and then let's talk a bit about how the tension came to the fore last night or yesterday. Those two groups fighting, it seems there was an attempt to remove the leader that many of us in the media have been engaging with, the man called JP, and that's what really was almost the burst of these tensions.
Well, there are two leaders, as you said. The one is JP and the other one is Papi. The one comes from Burundi, the other one comes from the DRC. So there are these tensions between the two groups. As I said, it appears now that there's a fight for turf, there's a fight for control, and there's a fight for power. And the one group, Papi's group, has now been expelled from the church, and JP's group is inside the church. And also, as you heard earlier, police did confiscate what they call dangerous weapons. There's also talk of them having confiscated guns. They also confiscated a can of petrol. So the situation is quite tense at the moment.
Yeah, lastly, Aisha, I wonder if you are able to tell us what the plight of those people who are now outside the church, who've been kicked out of the church, the second group. What is their plight going into the evening? Do we know at this point?
Well, last night they slept outside, and as they say, thank goodness it was quite a warm evening. And of course tonight they're going to sleep outside as well. And earlier we saw the South African Red Cross Society bringing them blankets. So they're preparing to sleep outside for another night. I did ask them what the way forward would be, and Papi was telling me that his group, they're adamant that they want JP to be arrested. They want to elect a new leadership, and that process is probably going to take place either tomorrow or the day after. But as I said, the tensions, the situation is quite tense at the moment. There's a police presence outside here. They are keeping a low-key presence, but they are here just monitoring the situation. And as I said earlier, when they did fire the stun grenades, it was to disperse people.
All right, thank you so much for that update. That's ENCA's Aisha Aisha Ismail live for us from Greenmarket Square. They're watching that situation that is becoming even more complex. I mean, you will know if you've been watching that story that at the core of the demand of those refugees and foreign nationals is that they want to be moved to another country other than South Africa, fearing issues of xenophobic violence. But the tricky thing here is that many of them are saying they don't want to be taken back to their countries of origin, but rather to be taken to another country, which then the agencies like the UN say they simply cannot be able to facilitate. So they've been there for months, really, and the situation is now taking a different turn, an even more concerning turn when you consider violence between two groups there. Aisha Ismail, thank you for that.